Sheshachalam from Ashuguide, Mysore. Yesterday we have completed a little portion, that is half of the Rashi significations, that is the characteristics of the Rashi, of the zodiac, starting from Aries till Pisces. So today let me give one by one, let me deal one by one. That is, now I'll be going ahead with Mesha, that is Aries, and then so on. Okay, here we'll be talking about the characteristics, the professions, the positive and negative factors of that Rashi. Okay, okay. Yeah, I will be going a little slow so that some of the students are asking me to go a little slow so that they can write it down or note it down easily along with the class, so they don't have to pause it. So that's what I have got. Okay, anyway, Mesha Lagna or Mesha Rashi. What if the Lagna is posited in Mesha? What sort of a character a person would get? Whether a person would be always aggressive or not, or whether he will be red faced as it is described in the classics. Let us go through it in detail. It is a Chara Rashi and hence a Chara Lagna also. Here, whatever I describe, please keep it in mind that this is also applicable if the ascendant falls in that particular sign. And as a pure sign, what are the characteristics that get acquired by the ascendant because of its placement on that particular Rashi or sign? What are the characteristics the ascendant acquires? That is, what is the ascendant? Ascendant means the body. The sun is the confidence or the soul, and moon is the mind. So that is why we should see all the three angles in the chart: the body, mind, and the soul. Here we are now talking only about the physical body or the Lagna and its placement in the Rashi. Okay. It is a Chara Lagna and these people are active. As I told yesterday, they keep moving around, they cannot sit in one place, and hence they are also aggressive, because it is just not a Chara Lagna and just not active. It is also an Agni Tattva Rashi. That is, there is heat, there is motivation, there is self motivation in this person. And Mars is the owner of this Rashi. So when Mars is the owner, that means these people will get the spirit of command. They will not just go around simply moving around. It's not, always it's not aimless movement. And because Mars is the, the Adipati or the Lord of Aries, and it signifies logic. The logic of Mars in Scorpio is much stronger when compared to the logic of Aries. But still, logic is there, a little bit of logic is there, and when there is logic, that means there is direction. So, a little bit, not much, because this is Aries. Sometimes they move aimlessly and also sometimes they lose direction. This is the negative effect when it is malefically influenced. So, they are of medium height, lean, muscular, and strong body, with lot of strength. They are mostly masculine. Whether it is a female or a male, they will have strong body and a masculine strength. Masculine means strength like a man. Okay, they are strong above their thighs. That means the half part of their body is extremely strong. The hands, the shoulders, the neck, the forehead. These are extremely strong. They are very sturdy, strong, and agile. This is very important to note. The complexion is rough. So that means they might have scars, they might have acne, they might have a rough surface over their face. This is also because of the biliousness, the nature of the biliousness of that planet and that Rashi. Agni Tattva means that it is Pitta, more towards Pitta. Pitta means biliousness, and the Mars, it's also more of Agni and more bilious in nature. Okay, so they have a fairly long neck, oval, shaped face, They have oval shaped face, long neck, bushy eyebrows. This bushy eyebrows thing is one of the physical features which can be checked when we are doing the birth time rectification, because people will not have the exact time of birth. So the birth between a Pisces and an Aries will usually have bushy eyebrows. They might also have eyebrows which touch each other in the middle. That is a single eyebrow. We call it a monobrow, whatever. So this is a new word which I learned from the internet. Okay, so they have sharp eyesight. They have extremely sharp eyesight because they are very active, they move fast, and they can capture each and everything which is in their purview. They do not have a long eyesight like the eagle. Okay, this is what is the Scorpio. But they have a short but extremely strong eyesight. They are very acute in that. So they are passionate, they are ambitious and courageous. This is there because they are aggressive and motivated. So the positive thing is that they are very courageous. They do not have the fear. They are not afraid of anything like what will happen if I do this. The apprehension that whether I should do this or not, whether I should, be a little cautious. They are not cautious. They will tell that yes, I am ready. I am ready to go. Let me do it. So the character of Mars and the signification of Mars is much related to this Rashi, because the Rashi has a major part of Mars in it. That is, it has the tattvas and the adipati and the biliousness, which I told you. So there is too much of Mars in this particular Rashi. Only when we know that Saturn gets debilitated there, I will come to that later, but only when we have slow moving planets there, we get extraordinary people in this lagna, when people are born in this lagna. Why? Because the slow moving planet will bring this strength into stability. That is, they will know, they will not unnecessarily excessively use their strength, or they do not unnecessarily get excited, unnecessarily they don't react, they will respond. So these positivity, the change, the transformation from aggression to motivation will come when a slow moving planet will either aspect or get placed in benefically. No, slow moving planet should not get malefically placed there. Benefically gets placed in Mesh Rashi when it is the Lagna. Okay. We here know that Mesha is a positive sign for Mars, and Vrishchika becomes a negative sign. Here, this has been discussed in various levels, because I do not agree with this in toto, because of the classics. They have given it as positive and negative. The negative sign of Vrishchika might be that they are secretive and they hide things and they do things. They will not even tell it to anybody. The closest aide also will not know what actually is behind his mind. So that is one thing which is good if he is a spy, but it is extremely bad if he is a terrorist. So you should understand the difference between the emotional stability and control what Vrishchika has and what Mesha lacks. Mesha is more honest, more straightforward, or would want to go ahead and do things. They don't keep anything inside, no grudge, no revenge feeling and nothing. But Scorpio, 100% they have this feeling of revenge, they have the feeling of grudge. They would want to settle, scores. So that's why it is called as a negative sign. Okay. They are sometimes uncompromising. Mesha people, they are sometimes uncompromising depending on the planetary position and negativity and positivity of that placement. Okay, and the fickle-mindedness, because they are very agile, very active. They keep shifting from one goal to another goal. It is like they would be starting a particular thing, going ahead in full speed, and suddenly, abruptly, they leave it there, jump to another task, and then start continuing it. So, this, jumping from one place to another place before completion of the job is not considered such a great character, but that is the character of Mesha. So they are people who are hard workers, no doubt, but they will keep jumping from task to task and without even thinking for a minute. So um, for them, they love challenges. They love something like adventure. They love all this because if they do not have these challenges and adventure, they will feel bored. No, they are not people who can sit in one place and meditate. It's one of the toughest rashis to sit in one place and meditate. If I tell Mesha to do pranayama, the people who are born under that sign will tell that I am fit enough. Why should I even do an exercise? Because my daily routine is such that I am fit. So they are usually very fit. They are strong, muscular bodies there, so they are very fit. So they are the last people who sit in one place and do pranayama. They are more attracted towards aerobics. They are more attracted towards the cardio exercises in the gym. They are more attracted towards bodybuilding, boxing, and these sort of challenging sports and other things. So when they get afflicted, when they get afflicted, the passion and the motivation will suddenly convert into jealousy. So this is a very important thing because when they become jealous, it is a very bad negative factor for further development, personal development. Okay. When we go to the professions, I have already discussed this a little bit. I'll just go into detail. They can go into the police, they can become army, they can go into paramilitary forces, they can go into border security forces, and even they can become surgeons. As Mars represents blood, Mesha represents red in color. So the color of Mesha is red, and this is blood red, not that scarlet or crimson red which is Leo. That is sun red. This is Mars red. So, and this is oily red, what we call as the blood red, thick red color. So they can be very good surgeons. They can be chemists. They can be officers of the law. Officer of the law in the sense that they can become advocates. They can become very difficult, but yes, they can become judge. They can become a judge. This is when Jupiter is well placed in the chart. That is because it is the ninth lord from the Mesha, and if it is well placed, they can start getting the support of a slow moving planet, and hence the wisdom and the aggression will mix together. That is, Jupiter and Mars will mix together, and then Mesha will start giving out extremely good advocates and lawyers and judges. They are fantastic skilled workers like mechanics. They are very good engineers. They can go in many places as engineers. They are very good bodybuilding, wrestling, boxing, all that physical sport where energy is required. Only when it is negatively influenced, they start going in for steroids. They start going in for unnecessary, like anabolic steroids, and then they would want that push and the fame. All this happens when there are negative placements. But as a pure Rashi, each Rashi will have extraordinary qualities which are actually untouched, and they are good. They are required for this world because everybody can't do everything. As I told earlier in my earlier discussion, that everybody do not want to wish. So because it's a government job, everybody will not apply to become a constable who will stand in the circle, keeping a whistle in his mouth, putting a mask over his face throughout the day, standing for 8 to 10 hours and trying to regulate traffic. Everybody cannot become that. You need to have guts to do it. So I'm hats off to those people and many other people like nurses. You cannot, everybody don't have that strength and mental capability to see life and death happening and stand there without getting emotionally perturbed. So this particular thing goes for Sagittarius, but still I'm just trying to give you a sense of understanding that each Rashi has one or two peculiar and very good extraordinary karakatva, that is signification, which is good for this world. Sorry. They are afraid of water, and they would like hot foods, tangy foods. They would like all these chili based masala foods and drinks. They like food, crispy food, and their health is spoiled because of excess of heat and diseases related to the bile. So that means if they are eating foods which are like junk, or foods which are having oil based foods, and which are having which actually have give difficulty to the digestive system, then yes, they will get stuck, and on a long run, they will get problems related to the bile, which will actually run into the digestive system. Like they will start getting ulcers. They will get there is a probability that the ulcers may happen, or gastroenteritis, or anything like that. Any disease, GED, might happen, or it might also proceed further into piles or anything like that. So this is Aries for you guys, and now I will get into Taurus. So Taurus is a Rashi which is, when you make it as a Lagna, is owned by Venus. Just a minute. Okay, it's owned by Venus. Venus does not represent fully of Taurus, but partially only. Why? Because the star of Venus, Bharani, has got finished up in the sign of Aries itself. The ascendant or the Rashi will depend on the nakshatras which are placed there. These characteristics which I am giving you, what I spoke about Mesha, was because of the Ashwini, Bharani, Kritika, Padam. That is Ashwini 4 quarters, Bharani 4 quarters, and 1 quarter of Kritika. Because of that, does not, there is nothing called as Rashis. I have told you that there are no lines there. So because of this particular span of nakshatras, we have understood that our ancient sages have done a lot of research, and they have understood that these are the characteristics which come out of them. Same thing, the Vrishabha Rashi, that is the Taurus, has Kritika 3 quarters. Then you have Rohini, and then Mrugashirsha. So 4 of Rohini, that is 7, and 2 of Mrugashirsha. So we have Kritika, that is sun, Rohini, that is moon, and then we have Mrugashirsha, that is Mars. So the center of the Rashi is governed by moon. Moon gets exalted also in this Rashi, and this is a fantastic Rashi when compared to the beautification, the idea of imagination into business, how to implement it. Like, for example, people go into branding. Not everybody can go into branding, marketing. So people who are having high imagination and high design perspective can go into branding and go into product branding. So anyway, let me go into this Taurus Rashi in detail. So they are of medium stature, plump body, that is a roundish in body. They are a little healthy when we see. So forehead is very strong because it is represented by the bull. The forehead. The bull fights with its forehead. It doesn't fight with its hands or legs, or it doesn't. The bull usually will not kick. It will fight with its forehead. It's not a donkey. Donkeys don't have strong heads, so that's why they kick from the back. The bull has an extremely strong head. If you want this to be represented, this is Boss Gaurus, the Indian Gaur. You can put that figure there. See Indian Gaur, see its behavior. You will understand natural behavior of Taurian. Okay, the forehead is extremely broad, thick, and with a stout neck. They can they can break walls because they are very strong, but they don't do them often. So they have large, bright eyes. Uh, the complexion is also fair and clear, and they are solidly built. The whole body is complementing the head, so it is fully strong. So they have big shoulders, and they have very good developed muscles. So that's a very strong personality. They can become very good bodybuilders because, because first itself they are plump. They are having good features of muscles throughout the body. They are slow and steady, and they weigh things, and they have the one greatest quality of Taurus is they are having perseverance and patience. This persistence and patience is the one which will give them a long journey of success. They do not crave for success on the first day. They slowly move ahead and they get the success, get their success. Like the next quality is that they are conservatives. They unnecessarily don't waste energy. So that means in every aspect of life they think, plan before execution. This is a very important point for a Taurian. They are strong willed and do not act impulsively until and unless disturbed to a particular level. They will ignore you as much as they can, but once they feel that your irritation is unbearable, they'll understand that you have to be eliminated. So better not unnecessarily go. There are two people in the whole Rashi whom you should not go and unnecessarily irritate. That is, one is a Taurian, the other one is a Scorpio. Okay. Um, they love worldly possessions. They love branded furniture. They love all the costly, expensive goods, and they are very passionate about art, fine arts, all sorts of carvings. They like luxurious palaces, though they can afford it or not. This is the innate character of a Tauran. Okay. As we know, they are very steadfast. They are extremely conservative of their energies, and they do not unnecessarily jump and react to situations. Only in one particular area they lose their strength of control. That is when they fall in love. When these people fall in love, they get attracted so much that they lose control of their emotions. So this is one place where they have to be a little cautious. Okay, we know that they are materialistically very strong. They want to acquire a lot of things in their life. By in professions, they can get into arts, cinema, and they can get into business. They are very good as solicitors and all those things. They are usually fortunate to have that particular Rashi. If the placements are benefic, they feel lucky. See, this feel lucky factor is not with all Rashis. So when people tell that, though people have most of the things in their life, they don't feel lucky. And this feel lucky factor is there with the Vrishabha, that is the Taurian. So when this gets afflicted, they become, they get possessed with anger, and it's like a bull which has been provoked, and it's waiting for to give back or to vent out its anger. You can understand the cartoon figure of a bull which is digging the ground, throwing dust, and breathing heavily. You can understand all that, you know strong negative vibes coming out of a person. So that is the negative part of Vrishabha. And they become lazy and self-indulgent. This is one more thing. When some planets, slow-moving planets are there, and they are afflicted by some other planets like Moon or Venus itself, they are afflicted, I'm telling. When Venus is weak or something like that, these people become overindulgent into any one particular subject. or one or more subjects. They get get into bad influences. They get into bad partnerships. They get into bad relationships, and whether they will regret it or not is only when they come out of the situation, or else they will be like into that circle of, you know, they got caught there. So because they lose control, as I told you, they lose control when they go into affairs, relationships, and love affairs and whatever. So this is a time when they are mentally not able to, you know, guide themselves normally. So they they love accumulating money. They love hoarding money. They love showing off. Um, you know, they they do not want to take risk in money matters. This is the last person I will ask loan for. But still, they are very good family members. They support their family a lot. They professions like they can become dealers in cosmetics and luxury goods, jewelry, gems, and they can also be very good in agriculture and farming. They can become good actors, musicians, artists, connected to mass communication, and sometimes they become too emotional too. That is as I told you, when a negative influence has gone to their mental faculty with regard to love and relationships. They do not suffer much with their bodily discomforts. They may suffer from two or more problems, like they may go through problems of the blood. That is because they suffer from spleen and kidney disorders, which is a little difficult for them. So, like getting kidney stones or the urinary tract infections. So, these are the disorders what they may face. They may also have difficulty in the varicose, that is the varicose veins in the legs. So, very less number of difficulties they will go through. They are usually very tough to unnecessarily they will not succumb to problems. So I have to summarize, I have done both Mesha and Vrishabha, and that means one is a very aggressive planet, aggressive Rashi. The other one is a very docile, very strong but patient Rashi. So upcoming classes I will be taking up Mithuna and forward. So thank you for today's class.